Good morning, future scholars. Various types of military explosives are used for a multitude of reasons. According to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, all types of explosives used in warfare, whether enemy origin or accidentally released by friendly forces. That is the definition of military explosives. Today, I'm going to cover just a few things, such as different types of military explosives, understanding the RE factor or relative effectiveness, and how to properly handle your military explosives. So, let's talk about understanding the different types of explosives. It's important for you to know so you can properly use them. All right. Here is a block of M112, or excuse me, a half block of M112, commonly referred to as C4. It is a plastic explosive that can be molded into whatever shape that you need to. Typically, it's used for pushing. All right, it's got a relative effectiveness of 1.36. Here is your det cord. It's identified by the white substance on the inside called petin. All right, typically this is used for cutting or tying into initiators with a relative effectiveness of 1.66. Here we have time fuse, identified by the tick marks. These tick marks are factory time lengths that you can use on the det cord here. As you see, there's multiple yellow tick marks, but it's more easily identified by the black substance on the inside called black powder. This does not have a relative effectiveness. All right, let's see. Here is just an example of a strip of det cord used for cutting whatever surface that you need. Like the video in the beginning, used to cut the door to initiate a breach. And then here we have your improvised M11 initiator here with a M7 non-electric blasting cap. This has a relative effectiveness of 1.66 because it has petin on the inside of it. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the relative effectiveness here. All right, so understanding your relative effectiveness is important because whenever you're calculating for your minimum safe distance, all right, typically we start at base with TNT, which is the relative effectiveness of 1. That's where we get the 1.36 or the 1.66, which is the equivalent to that of TNT. So what you're going to do with it is calculate your minimum safe distance so that you can potentially combat some kind of TBI. There are differences between combat versus training. In combat, we can calculate to be a little bit closer because it is in combat, of course. So what can happen if you get too close? All right, potentially nothing. Or potentially you could have small tears in your brain, in the soft tissue of your brain, which is what causes the TBI. Future on down the road could be a cause of memory loss or constant migraines. Or you could also have the potential loss of your limbs or your eyesight. According to the National Library, there were 106 studies with a total of 37,515 participants that met inclusions criteria for blast-related NTBI. Next, we're going to talk about proper handling of your military explosives. It is equally, if not more important, to understand how to properly handle your explosives as it is to understand the relative effectiveness in the different types, because this could also end in potential loss of life, limb, or eyesight. For starters, going to keep your initiators in blasting caps whenever you're carrying them with a ballistic plate between you and your cap. And then you're also going to keep your demolitions separated from your initiators. Just an example of what could happen. This is a turkey, all right? It's to replicate the soft tissue of the human body. This is the turkey before, and this is your soft tissue after. Sorry. According to the general instructions for demilitarization, disposal of conventional munitions, and operating procedure practice, etc., which is not correctly followed, could result in injury to personnel or loss of life. All right, so in conclusion, if you find yourself handling any type of explosives, whether it be military or in the civilian side, it is important for you to understand what you're using, how to calculate for safety, and how to properly handle those munitions. If not, you could end up walking around the rest of your life with less limbs than you started that day. Thank you for your time, and good luck.